What's up, pieces of media? KOC and welcome to Matt Talk with KOC and Coach. Coach is on assignment tonight, but I still have a guest, my special guest today. He is none other than a podcaster himself. Y'all may know him from what's the podcast name again?
Going places, Camden Clark.
Going places with Camden Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, Camden Clark. Camden, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for coming, man. Thank you for coming. Camden, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, so my name is Camden Clark. I'm from Blacksburg, South Carolina. I started a podcast about 4 years ago, April of 2021 or so. It's called Going Places, and started off just me and a friend of mine. We had just recorded conversations. We would talk about all sorts of topics. We would talk about sports a lot. We would talk about current events. We'd talk about just all sorts of things in the world, whatever we were interested in. But really, it was just about having conversation. And then it grew into that. It grew in bigger and bigger, and we got into more things. We got bigger guests, and I just do the show with myself now, and I'll interview people from all walks of life, from all professions. We've had writers on, we've had sports personalities on, and we've had pastors on. We cover a lot of faith-based content.
Okay.
People, members of Congress, all sorts of things. Any buddy from any field, we've interviewed them on, and I love it. It's been a great experience.
So you said congressman?
Yes, sir.
How did you get congressman? Like, what kind of connections do you have to get a congressman on a podcast?
Well, I think it's just that. I think it's just putting yourself out there enough, connections, making relationships with people. But that's something I'd always been interested in, like government and things like that, even since I was a young child. And I'd been introduced. I'd been at different events, and I had relationships with people. So I guess we've had two on, both in the state of South Carolina. But it was just a matter of reaching out, and they accepted, and you do a good job, and then you form relationships over time, and then you have a connection where you could probably call them anytime, and they come on the show. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's great about podcasting. You might have, there's a lot of people and a lot of conversations that I've had that I wouldn't have had without the podcast.
Right.
So that's what's so great. It's such a good facility for it, I feel like.
Okay. You mentioned going places with Camden Clark. Tell us about the planning process of that. Like, what made you want to start your own podcast?
I think I think growing up, I always talked a lot, and I always just held that, and I always loved, listening to shows. I listen to podcasts, listen to talk shows and things like that, and just like commentary in general. I know you know a lot about that, but just had an interest in that, and I had friends of mine where I would have conversations with them, and they'd be like, "Oh man, there should be a podcast or something like that." And me and a friend of mine were having a conversation one time, and it was one of those, and he was like, "We should just start a podcast." So we did. As far as the planning process goes, I mean, I think, I feel like when you're a certain age, like when you're young enough, you don't wear yourself out with like figuring out all the details.
Right.
You have a goal that you want to get to, and you just go for that. So, I mean, we just did whatever it takes. We loaded up and we started, and now, 4 years later, almost, I can't imagine, that I'd still be doing this, but I am, and it's just been an incredible journey. I haven't been able to much, like since the holidays finished and all that, but I think it's just been a great experience. I just love it. The planning process was pretty much just us having a goal of what we wanted to do, putting the work in, even when we literally knew nothing about it. But it was just learning as you went. I think a lot of it has just been me kind of teaching myself and having people pour into me with information and help that has helped me out a lot.
And you mentioned, which is correct, because doing a podcast is not easy.
No.
It's not very easy. People think it's just putting a camera in your face or hitting record and just going from there, but it's not. It's not that easy. It's a work in progress. We talked about that on our episode the other day. It was really you have to plan this thing out. You don't plan out. You plan out the guests.
Yep.
That's all you plan.
Yep.
You don't plan nothing else but guests. That's all you plan. You don't plan the questions. You don't plan what's going to happen during the show. All you plan is just the guests. Kevin, tell us about your upbringing, man. Like, what got you? You said you started talking. You like to talk. You were like a talker. But what got you into broadcasting?
Well, as far as my upbringing, I feel like it was really just me and my parents. I have an older brother, half brother. He's 16 years older than me, and we've always been really close. But I mean, I would just, and that's what I think got it started was, my family. We all talk, and they all listen to me. It wasn't like, I feel like a lot of times, people, kids are always like, yeah, shut up, stay in your room and all that. But they were like, no, that they actually, like hearing it. And I don't know, I think just as I grew up and got through life and, matured and figured out how, interactions work, I think I just, really found a love for, conversations, being a good conversationalist, and just realizing the power of that's in that. And as far as how I got into broadcasting, I mean, I think I liked reading, I liked knowing about things, I liked researching things, and whether that was sports, whether that was politics, whether that was my faith, whatever that was something I wanted to share, my views on it, and I wanted to have those conversations. So I feel like that's what got me into it, was just being interested in things and then wanting to talk about it with people who are also interested in it. But I think that's just how conversations in general work. So I got into that. I mean, I remember, when I was a kid, I would pretend to have a talk show and pretend
I
to
would
have
do
a
the
radio
same
show.
thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I do the same thing.
I bet.
You
But
talk to the camera, go to commercial break.
yeah,
You do
yeah.
you do it all.
We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be back in
glass
5
of orange juice. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and those 5 minutes really just be 2 seconds.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
ready to
It's
start.
all right, we back.
Yes. So what are you, like, first thing, how old are you?
I'm 17.
You're 17.
Yeah.
So you're doing all this at 17. What
Yeah.
grade are you in? 11, 12?
I'm senior. I just finished my senior year.
Just finished. So
Yeah.
you just graduated.
Graduated all. Yeah.
17 just, you 17 just graduated?
Yeah.
You graduated in December or you graduated?
December.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you graduated in December?
Yeah.
Or do you have any college plans? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually planning on going into ministry. And,
Okay.
yeah, if it was, I'd like to get a degree in Christian studies with a minor in journalism, actually.
Okay.
So you can still continue that avenue as well. But and for me, I'm wanting to go into ministry, obviously, but at the same time, like I feel like God can use, my interest in, broadcasting or conversations, communications, whatever you want to call that, and use that as part of that as well. So, whether that's, I would love to, one thing about me, I don't know if we'll get into this, but I love to read. I love to write. Writing is a big passion of mine too. I'd love to be like a Christian writer or something like that, or, a podcast or something like that.
So when you say writing, what are you writing? Are you writing sermons? Or are you writing, like, what are you writing?
Well, I mean, when I do preach, obviously, yeah, I write sermons, but I just mean like books.
Book,
Like,
okay.
primarily like nonfiction is what I would like to write. Things about topics, things about,
Is there anything particular right now that you would like to write about?
well, I'm not working on anything right now. I mean, I've started, things before, but as far as actually like sitting down with a plan of this is what I want to write, but not really. I mean, I've thought a lot about things I would love to write, like devotions and things like that. I would love to write, Christian books. I also love history. I'm a big history guy, so I would love to like write biographies. That's been something that's kind of a pipe dream of mine. So, yeah, I feel like, writing, literature, podcasting, broadcasting, whatever the uh, venue is, I feel like just worlds in general, and just having those conversations, just putting your thoughts out there, sort of like what they call the logos of everything.
Right.
That's where my interest is.
Because technically, well, not technically, you're entitled to your own opinion. You have a say so in what's going on within the world. Well, let's talk news, man. Let's just go into news,
All
man.
right.
Let's talk the Grammys.
Yeah.
You saw Kanye West and his girlfriend Bianca, and that explicitness, man. What you got to say about that, Camden?
Man, I think it's a shame. I've been a fan of Ye for a long time, and always have been. I mean, you're not gonna. I think one of my problems is like, I'm not gonna, like you said, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Right.
I'm somebody, you're not gonna make me feel bad about my opinion. If it's unpopular, if it's not, correct in your eyes, then I'm still gonna say it. But that's someone I've, that I've always thought to be a smart person. I think he's one of the smartest people on earth. I think, there was a time when I think he really was strong on faith, and as a Christian, it looks like he's got off the path, and I think that's sad. But I don't think it's over for him. And I think with him in particular, I think it's a shame because the potential that's there. There's a potential for greatness. There's a potential for him to be one of the smartest people in the world and one of the biggest people in art. But it's like he's allowing that to keep him down.
It's like he went on this downward spiral after his divorce with Kim.
Yeah, which I would actually think would have made him better.
Yeah, like you would think, getting a divorce might have. Okay, yeah, you'd be depressed for a little bit, but then you might. Oh, he's glowing. He's doing bigger things.
Yeah.
That's not what he's doing. He's doing these things, man, and like his first of all his whatever she is, husband, wife, I say husband, not husband, his wife or girlfriend.
I don't think she's his husband.
Yeah, I hope not,
Yeah,
but
didn't look like it.
I think he's really, she's really making him mad impressed up right now. With just her attire, an invisible dress to the Grammy.
Yeah.
Now this is not just any award show. Like this is not just a awards day at school. Like this is a Grammy. Like celebrities, legends.
Yeah.
Like what? Why? Like why? An invisible dress.
But you got to remember, this is somebody. He does not care. I mean, this is the same person who ran up on stage at the VMAs. 16 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. And look, there's been times, I've defended him till the cows came home, till I'm blue in the face with stuff like that. But, I think different people have different, breaking points with him. Like, I think some people, maybe that was it. I think some people, the MAGA hat with Trump was it. I think, some people, the things with the Jews was that. I don't.
He's done a lot.
Yeah, I don't make, presuppositions about people because I don't know what's going on. But at the same time, I think it's a shame. As a Christian, and for someone, he put out 2 Christian albums that were phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So
he did. I remember a couple years ago, he was singing it with not Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel, yeah.
Was Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
He was also on a plane ride with the other
James Corden. Yeah.
Yes, James Corden.
But yeah, he did that. And that album he put out, he had Fred Hammond on it. He had, Aunt Clemens. He had all sorts of gospel people on there. But and I'm not saying, I don't think it's ever, I don't ever lose hope in somebody like that. I don't think God's given up on him, but I mean, it just was, a shame.
Now, the biggest topic of the Grammys.
Yeah. Oh, this is what I thought you was going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going now. The biggest talk of the Grammys. Best country album.
Yeah.
Country album of the year, rather. Beyonce. Beyonce won.
Yeah.
And Beyonce caught a lot of backlash for this.
Yeah.
She caught a lot of backlash. It was a lot of people saying it should have been Chris Stapleton, or it should have been this, and I don't know who all the nominees were.
Yeah.
But it should have been this person, should have been that person. It shouldn't have been Beyonce.
Yeah.
Who do you think Beyonce, now mind you, this is the only thing that Beyonce hasn't won.
Yeah.
This is the only thing this is the only Grammy she hasn't won. She's won every other Grammy except for this one.
Yeah.
And I think this is what Jay-Z was saying. I think that's what Jay-Z was saying about a year ago, where, this is the only Grammy she hasn't won. How come she hasn't won it? And then she wins it. So how do you feel about Beyonce and the Grammy?
Well, with that situation, I mean, I was actually talking with my mom about it and my girlfriend about it yesterday, but I feel like, I think I have no problem with Beyonce as an artist. I mean, I think she's talented, but she's been a pop artist her entire life. Her album before that was a house album. She puts out this album as country, Cowboy Corridor. It's not a country album. I'm sorry, it's not country music. But you can have Dolly Parton on the album if you want to. You can have whoever you want. But to me, I think when you look at the nominees, it was that album with Heil, Chris Stapleton, Casey Musgraves, Lady Wilson, and Post Malone. All of those I felt like were better country albums than that. So I think maybe Beyonce should have won album of the year before, or some of her other work that she's put out. And it's not like I'm a big follower of Beyonce, but I feel like maybe there was a time when she should, but this was not it. And Chris Stapleton, he's about as real country as you can get. There's no pop to him. There's no, I mean, that's real country in my eyes. That's one of my favorite artists. Then one of my favorite albums this year was F1 Trillion with Post Malone. And Post Malone's someone, he's been sort of every genre too, but he made a country album. And I felt like that was good because I felt like when Beyonce did it, yes, she used some of the artists that, have been monumental in country music, but it felt like she kind of did it with a chip on her shoulder a little bit, as sort of like against the establishment of country music, where Post Malone went in there and he actually had a love for it and he actually made music. So I'm not a hater of Beyonce, but I don't think she should have won.
You don't think Beyonce should have won?
No.
That's just how you feel.
What you think?
Not really a music guy, man.
Really?
But I know Beyonce. I know her music. Not really. I'm not gonna say I'm a fan, but
Yeah.
she's fine. Let's put it
Yeah.
like that. She's
Yeah.
not gonna say she's fine. I'm getting a lot better. Let me not say that.
Yeah.
Let me not say that. She's a queen.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. She is the queen. She's Queen B. I think Beyonce. I don't like I said. I'm not a music guy. I don't really know her.
Yeah.
This album, but from what I'm hearing is she was utterly shocked. She didn't think she was going to win
Yeah.
it because if you saw her reaction,
It was
very. She
Yeah.
wasn't expecting to win. So I think her not expecting to win, it makes it more of like okay. She genuinely thought she really wasn't going to win because, like you said, you had Lainey Wilson, Chris Stapleton, some of these country legends. Lainey Wilson was just here in Gaffney a couple years ago, about a year ago. So you hear all these names and you're like, going against Beyonce. Now we're talking Queen B, like the legends of all legends. Like she's like the legacy she has is just going to be.
Yeah. I'm not doubting her talent, but in that field, is her queen, would her queen status transfer over to the country music world? You know what I'm saying? Because for them, I think a lot of people look at people like Lainey Wilson as sort of the queen of country, at least right now. And Chris Stapleton, I mean, he's been around 10, 15 years now. And, I think he's sort of cemented himself.
A lot of people saying they ain't never heard Chris Stapleton. They ain't heard Chris Stapleton do a album in a while. They say he shouldn't have been in that nominees, man.
He put out an album last year.
They said,
Who
hey,
said that?
Listen, I'm
Somebody
reading comments, man. I'm
that.
reading comments. They saying Chris Stapleton didn't put out no album, man. That's what I'm reading.
Put out an album last year.
I literally read that on Facebook the other night. I swear I did. I swear I read that on Facebook the other night.
I'm sure you did read that.
Now, granted, social media is probably not the best place to go to when it comes to stuff like this. When it comes to controversy like this, it's not a place to go to. But yeah, man, it's not a place to go to.
Yeah.
But,
No, everything on Facebook is true.
No,
everything.
Yes.
1,000%.
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Anything you see from the president to Beyonce, like anything. Like, it's just everything. I saw this thing on Facebook where I'm going to switch a little bit of gears here. I'm not going to dive too much into this, though.
Yeah.
The president signing an executive order to ban paper straws.
Yeah.
He said, banning paper straws, back to plastic we go.
Yeah.
What does he have against paper straws?
Oh my gosh, that's like
what is like? Now,
I don't use paper straws, so it doesn't affect me.
I don't know.
I don't know if you can legally ban paper straws and say get them paper.
Like you can't, like you can't really ban them. This president we have now, man. He's outrageous. Now he does some crazy things. Mm-hmm. He has done some crazy things. I'm not gonna dive too much into it.
Yeah.
But it's some things I look at him. I'm like, are you sure this is the right way to go?
I can see people thinking that.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm probably more sympathetic towards him than maybe you or maybe other people would be. I have tons of issues with him, but there's a lot of things I like about him. At least from where I come from on policy. Now, on personality, there's a lot of things. He was not my first choice for president. I would have liked someone else in the Republican Party to run with a little bit. But, I think he's done a lot of good things. I think he's he's so crazy that it almost works a little bit. Now, there's some stuff, like when he flows off federal funding. I don't think that was the best way to go. And I don't know the thing about paper straws. That's kind of crazy, but
that kind of put people in a little bit of a frenzy, a little bit.
Yeah.
When I heard that, social media broke.
Yeah. I like him overall, though. That's just my opinion. I like him.
Talking Grammys, talking to president.
Yeah.
Is there anything? What are you into, Camden?
What am I into? Oh my gosh, you talking about like for fun or just like interest?
Anything.
I like as far as hobbies go. I play golf a good bit. I go to the gym about 3 or 4 times a week.
What is your gym routine?
Gym routine? I do 3 straight days. Oh no, I do 2 days off and then a day off and then a day back on. But I do back and buys, chest and tries, and then legs. And I don't know if you can tell, I need to work on legs a little bit. But yeah, I love that. It's something I got into about 2 years ago. But I've always been a small person. I've never been like a big jacked up guy. But I got into that, and I just love it. It's good for you. I think it's good for you mentally. It's good for you, obviously, physically. But I want to build a little muscle. Stay in shape, be in good shape, and I've definitely gotten a lot bigger. But I love it. I love doing it. Just good for you, I think.
Do you go to the gym in the morning or do you go
I
in the
go
afternoon?
I go in the afternoon because I'm not in school right now, so I can go just about whenever. But the only thing, like I go, if you go in the morning, you got all the people like about to go to work. Go in the evening, it's a madhouse. Everyone's getting off work. Everyone's going off to school. I go at a good time where it's the soccer moms and the geriatrics. So
So the people that work out but don't really work out, but they work out.
yeah, it's a lot of people talking about the kids
Yeah.
and just sitting there,
It just
standing there talking. But no, but I like going. I go to Planet Fitness. I like it. People crap on Planet Fitness. I like Planet Fitness.
I need to go back to the gym with Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Coach is a he goes to Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
What is so you mentioned golf.
Yeah.
Is there any other interest? So you have golf, going to the gym. Is there anything?
I love any sport. I love learning. I know that probably sounds stupid, but well, not stupid, but like cliche. But I love learning. I read everything I can. I listen to any podcast video I can. I love, if I have an interest, I'm going to zone in on that, and that can be anything from history. Like I said, I love history, ancient civilizations, things like that. Diving in more in the Christian faith. I read a lot there, and just I love, the classic novels, things like that. So,
Now you had some of the biggest names on your podcast.
but yeah, I've had some.
You
I've
have
had
some pretty big names.
Yeah.
I just switched gears a little bit there, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have some of the biggest names, man. You have Brian Zig.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine. You've had the mayor.
Yeah.
Lyman Dawkins
Yeah.
on.
Awesome.
You've
Phenomenal.
had Bryce Smiley on, defensive coordinator of Gaffney High School. You've had some big names, man. How did that come about? Like you mentioned connection and relationships, but how did you build that relationship with them that fast to go, hey, I want you to be a part of it?
So, like you said, we're both from Cherokee County, right? So, growing up, I've lived here my whole life. I don't know if you have. If you live,
Yes.
Yeah. So, born and bred here, and I think that it's a small town, obviously, but I think it's got some great people in it. And you talk about those three names you thought of, those kind of like local legends in
Yes.
Gaffney. So I think when you're entrenched in your community and you're committed to it, and you're involved in it, you're gonna brush up with those people. You're gonna come in contact with them. So those are all guys. Zig. He's just a great mind. He's helped me out a lot with different things. That was great having him on. Coach Smiley, he's someone. He's meant a lot to me personally. He's been a big mentor of mine, and just spiritually, he's been a good godly guy to get to know. The mayor, I think I had him on like the week after he got into office, and was really impressed by him. There was a lot of gossip going on leading up to that election, a lot of accusations, things like that. And what I wanted to do, I just wanted to sit down with him, one on one and just talk. And he was just not only one of the kindest men that you can meet, but he's such a disciplined leader as well. And I think he's done a great job for Gaffney.
I think he has too. With him being the first few months he's been in office,
Yeah.
I think he has. I think he's leading the city in the right direction. We will have the mayor on pretty soon,
That's awesome.
so be on the lookout for that episode. Camden Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
You mentioned your girlfriend.
Yeah.
What is your Valentine's Day plans, man?
I usually keep it a secret or wait till the last minute. No, but I don't know. We like to go out to eat, but I think for Valentine's we might stay in a little bit. But I don't know. It's all about thoughtfulness, I think.
Yeah, you thoughtfulness. So what do you mean thoughtfulness? Just
like the little things.
the little things.
It
So
doesn't have
little
to be
things that count.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something fancy. It doesn't have to be something crazy. I think most women just want like acknowledge, like they want like to know that like you're putting effort in, like thoughtfulness into it. So I feel like you can do that. I think ultimately it's about quality time. So I'm the type of person, I just love people and I just like being around them. So it doesn't matter what we're doing. If we're just with each other, it's a win for me.
That's great, man. That's great. Listen, man, I appreciate you for coming on, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Is there anything that you would like to say to the people?
Well, the podcast is going to get back rolling. Like I said, we took a little break off for the holidays. We're about to get back rolling in the next week, and then we'll be moving. Hope to have you on soon. We're gonna try that again.
Yeah, it's coming pretty soon, man.
Yeah, we got another one we're gonna do on my podcast. Yeah, check that out. Going Places, Camden Clark, Spotify, iTunes, wherever. But I appreciate you having me on, man. I just want to tell you what you're doing is incredible.
Oh, thank you, man.
Good stuff. Well,
thank you, man. You're doing some great things too, man. Big shout out to Andrew Lanier who put us in connection. He told me about you, and then you hit me up on Instagram, and I was like, well, let me see what my schedule works. And then I got back to you this week, and we made it happen.
Yeah.
And again, man, thank you for coming. I can't wait to be on Going Places with Camden Clark. I'm excited for it. You can always catch Going Places with Camden Clark on Spotify and on iTunes. You can also catch this episode and all of our other episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, and also on YouTube. YouTube is Matt Talk. Thank you again, Camden. I appreciate you for coming, man. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.